Hi, my name is Leandro Facchinetti, and let's talk about audio production slash composition slash health. How are you doing, Arya?
Good, good. How are you?
I am good. How is COVID treating you?
It's okay. Like I'm getting better, but I'm really sad because our cat got COVID,
Oh,
and yeah, and she's an old lady, so it's been worse for her than for me and my wife. Like we both just had like two really bad days and then better. I just feel like kind of low energy. Um, but I'm okay. But our cat is like sneezing and coughing still, and the doctors were like, we can't really give her any meds. We just gotta make sure she's eating, and as long as she's eating, she's okay.
hmm. And she is eating.
Yeah, she is eating. Yeah, she eats less, but she does eat.
Nah, that's too bad. So, would you say that you are recovered?
More or less. I actually did get tested on Monday, and yesterday they told me I'm still positive.
Hmm.
Um, after 10 days, but yeah, I gotta go back to work hopefully on Saturday, so I'm getting tested again tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be negative then.
Hmm. Do you feel any side effects or long term effects? Well, not really long term, but uh,
Mm.
besides the usual symptoms?
I still have a bit of a cough, and like yeah, like energy wise, I feel less energy than I normally do, but nothing else I've noticed so far. Maybe if I try singing, not that I was ever good at singing, but maybe I'd feel, because I think Bo felt the same way, like when he was saying that after getting COVID, he he's seeing like it being harder to sing. I can't speak. Maybe COVID.
What is the best way to spend time when you are low energy?
I've just been playing like a crazy amount of poker and chess because I was really good at both of these things um, at some points in my life, and then I just kind of got into music and drugs and stuff playing. So I've just been kind of getting back into that. It's been fun.
I see. Okay, okay. So let's keep it short and simple and fun today.
Sure.
Let's not get too deep or technical. I thought that what we could do is first talk about how to set up Midi controllers. I have a new Midi controller that I finished building
Hmm.
this weekend, and now I have buttons and I have an expression pedal, and I'm not really sure what I should assign those things to. So I thought we could talk about this, and then we can talk about this composition because I think that I may use this pedal board that I have to record this or not. And that's what we can talk about. So, right now, I did my homework and I wrote some parts for cello and flute. The thing is not finished. As you can see, there is still here a
Hmm.
section that I didn't write. But what I did is I just sang the thing. Da, 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 da,
Okay.
da, 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 this kind of thing. And I need
Mm-hmm.
to convert that to MIDI. And I know there are many ways, like we can convert the audio to MIDI. I can learn to play the part on the keyboard. We can draw. So I thought we would explore those possibilities and see what workflow works better for what kind of person. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's what I thought we could do. And we could just keep it
Sure.
short and simple and get out of here in 1 hour or 1 hour and a half, something like that. How does that sound?
Yeah, I can do longer too. Let's see what happens in an hour and a half. But yeah,
Okay. If if you really feel like it, we can try to squeeze some programming too, because we didn't do our Monday stream together.
that's true.
It could be fun. Right. So first things first, I have this new, it's a pedal board, it's a MIDI controller for my feet, and I'm not gonna show you because it's below my desk. But essentially it is 4 buttons because I could only buy 4 buttons. They only had 4 buttons in the store, so I built it with 4 buttons and 1 expression pedal. I'm thinking about expanding this to 2 expression pedals, maybe a couple more buttons, because it's just so easy to just put more stuff there. I just connect everything to the Arduino. In fact, one thing to note about this is that I'm not too good at soldering, so I built the whole thing using a breadboard and I didn't solder anything. And it's fine for something that is going to stay at home. So right now, I assigned my expression pedal to the mod wheel. And I'm not sure that that's the best idea. And then, I'm not even sure that it matters all that much, because you can reroute anything using, well, plenty of tools actually, but definitely in Reaper you can reroute anything. But there are mappings that are more convenient. And even for the buttons, I have 4 buttons. I assigned one to, what is it called? The sustain pedal, but I think it has a different name in Midi. It's not sustain. I think it's the dampen pedal.
It's hold.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I assigned it to that, and I still have 3 buttons to go. I really don't know what to do with them. So my question to you is, what do you usually have handy in your Midi controllers? What kind of messages do you usually send? How do you usually set up your Midi controllers?
I guess since yours is foot controlled, it would be cool to have like just the old record button there, so that you can like toggle record with your feet while your hands are already on the chord. Um, that would be one thing kind of that comes to me right away. I mean, play and stuff, whatever, you can always press space. Then with buttons, what else do I do with buttons? Not much really. I do like more with faders and knobs than buttons. But I think, yeah, the hold is a good idea. Especially, so is one of the buttons like a latch type? So if you keep your like foot on it, it stays on, and you let go, it goes off, or how does that work?
The buttons, the hardware are momentary. I press, they go down. I release, they go up. But this is actually something cool that I did not talk about in the stream when I was doing this in Arduino. I only briefly mentioned this Arduino library called Control Surface. And I noticed that Bo is here. Hey, Bo. Oh, and Arya's voice is very low. Okay, I can fix that. Or do you want to fix it on your side, Arya?
I mean, I'm showing here on my side. Oh, wait. I was showing a lot more in a second ago. I was showing like -3 dB, and I'm showing, yeah, but my LUFS is very low. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that for some reason you're sending me the audio straight from the audio interface and not through Reaper, because your meters don't agree with mine, and because you were only on my left side and I had to mono you on my side. So right now, if you don't want to touch anything, I can move this slider up.
Oh. You know what? How about now?
That is much better, actually.
Okay. Because what it was I was changing my audio output destination, and that doesn't even do anything. Because I'm just sending you. Okay, yeah, I'm dumb. There we go.
All right, yeah, so now your level is much better for me, and I bet for this stream as well. In any case, I briefly mentioned 2 libraries to work with Arduino and Midi. And I used the lower level one. It just gives you facilities to send MIDI messages and receive MIDI messages. But then there is this other one called Control Surface, which is an abstraction on top of that other library. And it gives you even more possibilities. You can do MIDI over Bluetooth. You can do MIDI over a serial port. The library that I was using is MIDI over USB. So now I connect my pedal board to the computer with a USB cable, and that's that. It shows up as an Arduino interface in Reaper. And this library is super cool that it has these notions of inputs and outputs. So let me, for instance, show this. And then I can program what my buttons are going to do with these things. And I can say that I have a button and this is momentary. So when I press, it's going to send a CC message, control change or continuous controller message. So it's going to send a message with, how about I just show you this? I can very easily do that. So right now, I have this little Arduino controller here in Reaper. Can create a track, enable it for recording Midi from all channels, and log all the messages that come through. So when I press the button, where is the button? This button. So when I press it, it sends that CC message with 127, and when I release it, it goes back to 0. But I can also use this class, for instance. So the button, the hardware, is still momentary, but the code knows to behave as a latched button.
Cool.
And if you literally have a hardware that is a latching button, then you can use this class. And for the expression pedal, as I mentioned in the stream when I was building this thing, it is a potentiometer. So you just use this class and it is going to send CC messages for whatever you want. I think there is like a big list. I don't know where it is right now, but there is a big list of all the CC messages. For instance, volume. And you can find all the CC messages here and you can choose. So right now I am sending for the expression pedal. I am sending, what is it? I think it's message 11.
11 is
no,
pan,
it's just one,
isn't it?
No, it's just, I'm just sending one. I'm sending the modulation wheel. In fact, if I move it around, you'll see. Yeah, it's just CC1 mod wheel. And
you already have a keyboard with mod wheel too, right?
That is right, yes. So my idea was twofold, actually. First, when I am playing the guitar, and second, when I'm playing some part that has two hands. Now, I'm no excellent keyboard player, so I bet that I will not be doing a lot of two-handed and expression at the same time. But now I can if I want. And this is what the code looks like for that using this library. So check this out. All I have to do is say, I want to use USB over Midi. If I wanted to do Bluetooth, I would change this to another name. And if I wanted to do like an actual Midi cable, I could do that as well. And over here, I just say I have a button. It is plugged to this port in the Arduino, and this is the message I want to send. And that's that. I bet that this is even simpler to use than if you buy a dedicated pedal board, then you still have to install some software or dive into some menus to change what the messages are. I bet that this is about as simple as it gets. Just say what you want to connect to where and what you want it to do. And it's going to take care of some issues that we had to code ourselves when using the lower level library, like the bouncing buttons when it's in that state in between pressed and not pressed. So super cool stuff. And I'm not good with the hardware building. So I'm not good with drills and I cut myself while doing this. So what I did is just I got a binder for documents. I cut some holes, put the buttons there, and put everything on top of a message board. Very cheap stuff. The whole thing costs me like €5, and it is good enough. I can put my feet on it, and it stands my feet. So very cool stuff.
Cool.
Now, what do I do with that?
With the hold pedal, like in sound design, something we sometimes did was to have the hold on and off on buttons, and that way you can like have the hold button on, and then you just press keys as you're playing with like a sampler and you're kind of adjusting parameters like doing sound design. I guess in orchestral compositions that doesn't really come in handy. So I would say, yeah, you already have a hold. You already have the expression pedal, and you can use whatever CC you want on that. We said one for record. Um, I mean, if you want to get fancy, you can give one of them to the stop, delete all recorded media. But again, in Midi, that's not super useful because Midi doesn't weigh anything. Um, so that's not a thing.
So
So
to
you
map
got two
these
more
things,
that you need to do.
so in terms of ergonomics of these things, would you map this to like a general purpose controller kind of blank message and then bind that to something in Reaper, or would you send some special note? Because that's another thing you can do, right? You can send CCs, but you can also send notes. So I could just send a note in a particular channel and map to that.
That's a good idea too. No, I would just use a general CC message, not a note. Unless you can always do like a note on channel 16 and then never use channel 16 except for controlling stuff. Yeah, myself, since I don't really use too many buttons or really any at all, because like whatever keyboard, I do all my stuff on that. Another good one could be like maybe, I don't know, soloing the track that is also armed, or and like you'll see as well, basically once you're writing some stuff and once you're doing some um, like editing, you may just be like, this is a button to put there. For notes, another thing you can do, though you don't have like a crazy number available to you, but would be cool if you had like I think on the BBC Orchestra it's C0 to C1, where you send key switch messages through. So if you add more buttons, that could be something to do. Like you do key switching with your feet. Maybe you can have C0 and C#0, because I think on most of them, like on the flute, you only had two anyway. So that could be something to try. Really, just kind of like if you can't think of what to add, just make music for a while, and then an idea will come to you. You know.
Yeah, and I was also thinking of trying Super 8. Do you use Super 8?
Yeah.
Or something else?
I've used it. Yeah, I'm actually really big time getting into using Super 8 because like early on when I was writing my own solo music, I just had a looper. I still have that same exact looper, and I wrote all my music just on a looper. And I thought, well, if I can get Super 8 to work, I can just make that like a lot easier on myself, and then maybe sell my looper. But also my looper has a limit of, I think, 16 seconds. If that, no, it's actually less than that. It's two measures at 80 BPM. So that's 60,000 divided by 80 times 8. Yeah, 6 seconds. So 6 seconds is the maximum duration on that. So yeah, I've been like meaning to kind of get more and more into Super 8. I've tried it and yeah, works pretty easy. I don't have like a foot controller, so I guess if I really want to completely replace my looper, that would be something to look into. But I just kind of assigned them to like random notes and played with it. It's awesome.
Yeah. So your looper is a pedal, I suppose?
It's the Korg K-Oscillator Pro Plus. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a crazy device. I really love it. It's a synthesizer with an XY pad, no keyboard, and it also loops, and it also has audio in. So I always just connected my pedals and like guitar through pedals to that, and then stereo into my computer. And even like I never had two amps, but sometimes I would go stereo in and stereo out, so I could use the stereo options on my delay pedals and stuff.
Right. So you don't have a lot of experience using software loopers.
Not a crazy amount, no. I mean, the looper on good old Ableton I've used a bunch, which is called Beat Repeat, which is not exactly a looper. It's different, but you can use it as a looper. That plus just kind of clips, because Ableton itself is kind of a looper.
It is
in many ways. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I will get into this, and I was trying to wrap my head around it, but yeah, I think I need to watch some videos because it's not something that you pick up just by looking at it, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Yeah, it's not super like insane, but yeah, I mean, like a video. There's a good Reaper blog video on it as usual. I don't know if actually Kenny Joya has a video on Super 8. He may not.
He does. It's on my list of things to watch. Right, so
cool.
In terms of mapping, I think that for the thing that we are going to do today, which is working with Midi, not working with a looper, having a sustain pedal and a mod wheel is good enough.
Yeah, and you can always have expression. You can always like reassign it really quickly on the fly anyway, so...
Yeah. Right. Okay. So with that out of the way, let me show you what I have, and then how about we convert some of these parts using one technique and then the other part using another technique to like play around with them. Now, don't laugh, okay?
Sure.
It's me babbling out melodies. Don't laugh.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Da na na na.
3, 4.
Da 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 na na da na da na na da na na na.
Ooh.
Da 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 na na. Da 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 da. So yeah, the B section is not done, so we don't need to go there. But I was playing around with this lopsided 3/4 going to 4/4 for 3 measures. And this last measure is like a 4/4, but I cut out the last beat, so it becomes a 3/4, and you kind of trip into the next part, which is something.
You had another thing you were working on. Is that backburnered?
I actually want to use it over here on the B section.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It is.
This has
here.
The makings of a very kind of epic track. So we can always also then, like, once we move kind of to a full orchestra, use this as like your exposition, and then just develop this whole thing into a huge orchestral thing. It's a good place to be. I think with the flute, I was hearing some kind of in between notes, like microtonal stuff happening and slides up and down happening.
Yeah, that is just me being sloppy. I just wanted to remember the idea, but yeah, we'll
is
fix
that the ocarina, or are you actually whistling?
I'm whistling.
Oh, okay. I think the cello could work with the old audio to MIDI. I think let's try some stuff. Let's see how it works. I feel like with audio to MIDI, it's never 100% accurate, but you can always kind of quickly get to an accurate place. Me, like personally, because I have bad pitch, I find that it takes me longer. It takes me less time to figure out what it is and just play it or write it. But let's give it a go.
Yeah, and another part of the homework was to come up with a structure. So I wanted this to be short. I want to be able to finish this. So right now I have about like a minute over here, and I think we are going to stay around 1 minute, 1 minute and 15, something like that. So I'm going to present this motif twice, once with just the cello and then with the flute, kind of answering, so it becomes a question answer kind of thing. Then I deviate from the motif just ever so slightly, then a B section that is going to be different. I want to borrow that idea from 2 weeks ago and use it here, and it's going to be in 4/4. So I keep doing this switch between 3/4 and 4/4. So that idea from 2 weeks ago was in 4/4. I want to work it in here, and then we go back to the motif, and probably the cello is going to keep doing what it was doing, but the flute is going to do something more interesting on top, and that will be the end.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. So you're saying that audio to MIDI should work relatively well on this guy, and I don't know how to use audio to MIDI. So can you walk me through the process?
Sure. So you need reattune. That's one way of doing it. Yeah. And you see, send MIDI events, and you can say, channel 1 or something. I'm sure, again, there's like a million ways of doing this, but what I like to do is just make a track and send only MIDI, no audio to it from this track 3.
So only MIDI, no audio.
Yeah, only MIDI, no audio. And then on that track, you can already load your instrument, or you can just, I guess, just load an instrument on there. Whatevs. It may also detect like an octave off or stuff like that. So we may not actually hear an output. We have to like get the output and then shift it down and up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And then another thing that I find helps, I guess in your case, this may not make a huge difference, but one thing that kind of throws all these audio to MIDI transcribers off is like lip smacks and high frequency and stuff like that. So what I always do is before the tuner, I put a filter that's really narrow, that's really only just catching like the fundamental and a few overtones, so that it's like less complex for the tuner. You know, the tuner really just needs to hear a fundamental, and it's off to the races. So that sometimes helps, but the way you sang this, it may just be okay.
Okay.
This may totally be unnecessary. We'll see.
Okay, I'll remove it. Let's try to do this with the least amount of work. So this thing that we are doing is kind of just a clever use of this effect. It is not something, there is no built-in facility in Reaper like there are in things like Ableton. There is a thing, an audio to MIDI feature.
I think what Ableton does is the same thing. Like it would be detecting pitch and then looking up a list of MIDI notes, right, and referencing that. So I think under the hood it's like the same thing. I
bet that there are even the same algorithms, right? These kinds of algorithms.
Yeah. Elastic, which I found out actually it's a company in Montreal. I didn't know. And actually there's a company in Montreal that does so much of Ableton's stuff. So yay, Montreal.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
The other thing that we can play with, again, you didn't sing this super low, but if you sing stuff lower and you see reattune struggling, you can increase the overlap and window size to catch kind of lower notes. Maybe here will be okay. Yeah. So let's just see, I guess, let's just see if the default works.
I am incapable of singing low notes, and we did go over this when I couldn't tune my bass guitar. Right, okay, so all I gotta do is just hit record with this enabled. Am I right?
I think you need to have it to record output MIDI.
Oh, record output MIDI. That is interesting.
You gotta write, yeah.
I thought that this was going to be an input MIDI.
Yeah, but with routing, it works differently. When you route stuff from track to track, when you say, for example, record input MIDI, all MIDI inputs, it doesn't actually count that as a MIDI input, it seems. Or I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, you got to go record output MIDI.
Okay, and then this setting is not even doing anything, right?
I think it doesn't, but I guess keep it MIDI.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
So yeah, window size needs to go up because it's just seeing way too many notes. Like clearly it's seeing like 10 notes or whatever when you just do 3.
Yeah, let's go to like 100 milliseconds.
Yeah, maybe even 2x overlap. Well, I guess, let's see. Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
All right.
It is not good, is it?
It's gonna, yeah, it's like a lot more work to fix this than to write da na na na. But maybe keep playing with the overlap settings a little bit more, or we can always just give up on it and just write it.
And it's not even trying to get the velocity, which I guess could be done, right?
Yeah, reattune. No, because reattune doesn't detect loudness. It just detects pitch, right?
But it could.
It could do loudness?
Yeah, why not? It has access to the audio. It is doing pitch tracking.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It could. It should, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess you're right, yeah. It can just amplitude scale it.
This is not good.
It's not incredible. Yeah, it's never like super accurate. So maybe another thing you can try, again, there's like a few things you can try. One thing you can do is have an automatic pitch correction on one reattune, and then a second reattune sends the MIDI out. You can try the EQ thing, see if that makes it better.
Yeah, let's labor on this because I think it is fun. It could be fun if we could have some good settings for this. So let's play around. Let's start with the EQ trick. I suppose it's going to be around here.
Yes. Yeah. No, I guess see where your fundamental is. I think where you went a little too far. Yeah. Yeah.
This is fun. They can make it narrower.
It didn't help. Let's see.
Yeah, let's try this. I don't see any difference with the EQ.
Yeah, because what it really is it's like being too sensitive to your pitch, right? It's seeing like a semitone when you're just kind of rising to a note. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I guess here's another question. Did you use a reference pitch when you were singing this? So that could be it too. You could be like right between two notes. So it's kind of harder for it to detect. You know what I mean? So that first like, nah, it may be like between G and G sharp. And it's just constantly like, oh, where do I go? Kind of.
Yeah. And I don't think that the purpose of this is necessarily to do the thing that we are doing, right? If it feels to me like this was made for like pitch correction, and then this is like, what if you want to double this with a synth? Here's what you can do real quick. But it's not meant for this thing that we are trying, which is to like just sing a melody and convert to MIDI to work on it. That's my feeling. Anyway.
It seems like maybe it was maybe it was a little bit of an afterthought. There is another thing to try, which is the old JS Audio to Midi. There's JS Audio to Midi drum trigger. There's also JS Audio to Midi. So I don't know. Maybe that's more tailored. Though again, I think like if it's JS, it's going to be running on the same like principle. Maybe running just the same exact thing. Yeah. Oh, you don't have it.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it either.
Ah, okay. I thought that was stock, but it's not.
I guess it's not, yeah.
So this one, the drum trigger is for when you're beatboxing?
This one's really simple. It's just a gate. When the gate opens, a MIDI note is sent, and you choose the channel and MIDI note. It's super simple.
Oh, so it is only following
the
loudness.
It doesn't pitch detect.
It doesn't do.
Yeah.
You're only triggering one MIDI note here.
Yeah.
Okay. So this MIDI note, I suppose. Right. Okay. So
exactly.
Let's try to do some automatic pitch correction, and I mean.
I guess. Do you know the key? Do you know what key to correct to?
No.
La 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 la. Let's give it a go.
We can start. Figuring this out with the keyboard and everything, but I wanted to see how good this would be with just nothing. In fact, let's open Ableton and give it a try there as well. I think it could be fun.
Sure, you got Ableton? I didn't know that.
I bought this piece of hardware way back, and
I lost you just now, I guess.
Can you hear me now? No? Oh, man.
La, 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 la.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Na, 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 na. I think it's a G.
You still don't hear me, do you? But only you, Aria, are not hearing me.
No, it's a D. Dan. I think it's B minor. We don't have your voice.
That's too bad.
No. Oh, the stream has it. Okay.
Yeah. Really weird. Why would that be?
I guess I could watch the stream, but it's gonna be.
No. How about I just reload this page? I should be showing this URL on the stream. Hello. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Right. So weird. We learned that when you open Ableton, Chrome doesn't like it. But the stream was all right. The stream heard me all the way through. So how about I just open Ableton again and then I reload the page so that you will hear me. Yeah, but I want to give this a try in Ableton. Why not? It could be fun.
Sure. Fotis says yes. Yeah, Kenny has a video on that. I want to make a Reatune tutorial because I trialed Melodyne and I have a few arguments why Reatune is better than Melodyne. It's not really better than Melodyne. Melodyne has polyphonic and stuff, but Reatune is just so easy and nice, and it resizes and it recognizes your hotkeys for zooming, and you can just use the same hotkeys. It's the best.
Let's see. Do you still hear me? Yes, you do. Great. And
yeah.
Hi, Fotis. Great to have you here. And I will look into these things. Yes. I think that ultimately my workflow is just going to be to learn the thing that I was humming and play it again on the keyboard. I think that is going to be even better than drawing it. But I do want to give all these things a try because it could be fun. And yeah, so... anything else that we can try here in Reaper? Because we can try to tune it before.
So I guess, I think it's the key of B minor. Maybe try that.
Okay, we can do B minor. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this Reatune tutorial. I want to learn more about it. Right, so, look at that. It seems like something was messed up here in Reaper. It's now not at 48.
Huh.
kilohertz. That could be why the thing was down. So Ableton seems to be trying to reset this. Yep.
Oh, when you went 48, I lost you. La 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 la.
There you go. And let me just double check
You're
here
back.
in OBS. Yes, everything is all right in OBS. So yeah, it was just Ableton Live taking control of the audio interface and setting it to 44.1, but let's not have that. But yeah, we'll get to Ableton in a moment. We'll still keep pushing here with Reaper and see how far we can go. So B minor, and we are doing some automatic pitch correction before the pitch detection. Da, 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 da. I think it's about the same.
Yeah, it didn't change at all.
Do you want to give Ableton a try? I don't know how to use this actually. And as I
Sure.
said, I have Ableton because I bought this old piece of hardware that came with a license, but I sold that thing way back, but I kept the license. So I have Live, but it is the light version. It doesn't come with everything.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if it comes with audio to MIDI, but
I think it does. Grab that audio. It's super easy. You just right click on the audio clip and that's it.
okay. So let me go to Reaper. Oh, not this instance. No, let me go to Reaper. Open this, and I'm looking for a file with the name 211208 1400. The first one.
I have an action for that.
Do you have an action for that?
Yeah, you click on the thing and you go show that file in Finder.
Oh, cool. Right, so right click on this.
Right click on it. Oh, I guess you don't have it. Or wait, hold on. Right click on the track. It may be on the track. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was right clicking
yeah,
here, which is not the same. I don't know. If you right click here,
I guess
it's
try
one
right
thing.
clicking on the track title as well.
But it's
But
not,
I think it should be here. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's normally here where it says convert audio to MIDI. So I guess the light version doesn't have it.
yeah, whatever. Don't save. And that's the last of Ableton we'll have today.
Yeah, I guess I have tried the Ableton one too. Again, you know, it's like at best, if you use a reference pitch, it makes it like, I don't know, 80% better. But even at its best, it's only, I would say, 60-ish% accurate.
And did you ever
Yeah.
try those things that keep advertising, at least to me on YouTube? That
Voclia?
guy, yeah.
I want to try Voclia because I'm not sure. I think Voclia has a special microphone.
They used to, but now they also have just a good old plugin. And I never understood
well,
why
I
they
haven't
had a
tried it
dedicated microphone
firsthand.
for this, because it is at first glance kind of silly to have a dedicated microphone for this.
Yeah, it could be a marketing ploy. It could be that the microphone just has a filter like I put on my like before my tuner, so that it just really focuses on the like fundamental and the first few overtones rather than being like really kind of open and transparent. I'm not sure. Or it could just be a marketing ploy. It could just be a whatever mic. But I don't know. I mean, there are like better pitch shift algorithms for sure. So that could be one thing. If Voclia is using like a really nice algorithm, that could be one thing that like makes it slightly better. But definitely the way they advertise it, where it's all perfect, I call bullshit on that. Or they are just getting like incredible singers with a reference pitch, and they're singing it just a real special way, like they're going bup bup That's another thing. Like if you go dup 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 dup, you're more likely to get it correct than da 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 da, because more sustain means more pitch deviation and stuff like that, right? So there's like techniques to make it hear you better, and just giving it like what it needs to hear and nothing else. Not even like even dup 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 is too much. You gotta go I guess that would be like one thing to try, and just hitting those notes like mwah. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the only reason why you would want a dedicated microphone for this is if they could argue that some of the processing is done in hardware in the microphone, just to save resources from your machine that is probably already running a lot of VSTs, and that could be good. But I don't think you can put a lot of DSP hardware into such a small enclosure. So whatever. All right. So I don't think that pitch detection was very good. I know I'm not in love with the results. So how about we try to draw this in, which is the second technique. That I wanted to try. So there is nothing too special about this. It's just diving in there, but I do want to pick up your like workflow tips on this kind of thing, and even maybe some theory that may help me along the way. Because the way I would do this is I have the VST on the track already. So I would just like try. Yeah, it seems to be about here. So draw one note, see how long it is. Go to the next note, see how long it is. Very time-consuming and kind of boring thing to do. So do you have tips on workflow?
I guess like find your root and find the scale. That way you're already narrowing your note choices down to 7. So what's the root of this melody? Just if you sing with your mouth.
Da. So it's about a B?
Yeah. And then from there, like I mean, I can just tell what scale it is, but any guesses for you? I guess you already know.
Well, you said already, but one thing that you mentioned in the stream last time was that some instruments have some preferences, and the cello likes to be near E, but the flute would rather be, I think it was in E flat and B flat. So do you think we should just transpose the thing? Because I was just singing without a reference. Doesn't really matter.
I mean, like what they like to be versus like, you know, that's not super important either, because they got to be able to play in whatever. So no, ultimately you decide. And for cello, I said C, by the way.
Ah, okay. I misremembered that. Okay, so C. Oh, so we could go to a C. We are at a B, so we might as well, sure.
Right? Yeah, you can go C.
Cool. This is not snapping to the grid. Let's snap it to the grid. So I guess even more than the note, the actual notes, timing I find very hard to just draw in without a lot of trial and error.
That part is easy. So that part, you break it down to the smallest denomination. So for example, da 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 da, I would hear it as da 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 da. You know what I mean? So that way I know that the first note is twice the length of the second note and the third note, and then I count the rest. So da 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 da, one, da 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 da. Actually, it's 3/4, so it's da 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 da. So that's how I would do it. And you don't start at the root. I think you start at the third. Na 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 na. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're correct. You may be double the length of what you are. So it may be da da.
Yeah, let's hear this. I will solo it for now. Oh, what?
Oh, your cello is also maybe a slidey thing, or it's not. You know, the cello itself may have a rise or something in it. Like, is it just a regular cello with nothing?
Let's put it in this version that is just supposed to like
Spiccato?
Yeah.
Cool.
Give me the notes. That doesn't sound right.
What's happening?
Oh, yeah, we are still routing the whole thing
Oh,
from there.
okay, I see. Yeah.
Let's stop that. Let me turn off this sand. Delete that sand. Sounds right to me.
No, you're right. You're correct. Yeah, and the rhythm was correct. So there you go.
And then how about we put it back on long notes? Because that's what I had in my head.
Yeah, that wasn't the issue. Yeah. And that last note is a little bit shorter how you sang it, but we can always play with that or make that last note spiccato. So it's like da 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 da.
I thought that changing these techniques in the middle was dependent on the instrument. A flute player can easily go between techniques, but for someone playing the cello, you would have to like, well, if you're doing pizzicato, for sure you're like...
Yeah, with pizzicato you need extra time. Yeah, but with between tremolo and long notes and staccato and spiccato, no issue, because I mean you're bowing long and then you go tap or you go drrr, like you can switch between those super easily.
Okay.
Really just with the pits, because they have to like put down the bow, or sometimes they hold the bow this kind of interesting way with their third finger, and then they get their thumb and. But really, like, you gotta be nice to... Bartók is a famous pizzicato writer, and he did a lot of crazy stuff where they didn't even have time to put down the bow. But like, if you're not Bela Bartók, you should be nice to your cellists and give them time.
Yeah, that's more like it. This last note was too long. And even this first note, I think, can be cut short there. No, that doesn't sound too good. Yeah, whatever. So I think that this is just going to be a first sketch, but yeah, let's put those notes there. I don't know, something just sounds off. I don't know if it is because I was early on the beat and now I'm not, and I don't know. It doesn't sound right.
You can do a number of things. I mean, the tempo, you can always make it more fluid. So, you know, like orchestras don't have good tempo. So they always fluctuate. So you can always kind of write those fluctuations in. Another thing you can do is just, like do those kind of micro things. Cause one thing that also happens is like the long version, it has a ramp up. So maybe if the first notes start a little early, then by the downbeat, they are actually at full volume. So it sounds more like wah, da, 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 and it's really like the wah. You want the like full attacks end to be your beat. You can always play with those. But with stuff like that, you can also, I think, like get the note first. We're getting how it would be written in an orchestra, how it would be written in a score.
Yeah.
And then to make that actually sound like an orchestra, there's a number of things we can do. But right now, you're just trying to get the notes out of the way. Then we have velocity and changing the durations and technique and all that to spice it up.
Yeah, I'm interested in both trying to make Midi sound as good as it can, but I'm also interested in working with actual musicians. And if this is good enough, I think that I may get a cello player to actually play this, and even the flute as well. I think that my neighbor plays the flute. I hear a flute a lot. And I was interviewing a
That's
nanny
cool.
this week, and she was like, "Oh, I cannot stay long. I have to go to the rehearsal. I play the cello." And I was like,
There you go.
Right. So let's start with this. So drawing it in was okay, not the best. So how about we go to is there any other technique that I'm missing besides trying to detect the pitch or drawing and actually playing it on the keyboard? Anything else that you do?
So detecting pitch, drawing it, playing it, boop 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 doop boop boop. Is there another way? No, drawing, playing, detecting. No, what else would there even be?
Yeah. So I thought. So. No, this is too high. Yeah, right now I'm doing this. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is the place where I want to be. How about we duplicate this? And I'm not in love with the result I got there, right? So what if I just try to play it and see if I get something better?
Sure.
Yeah, I already like this better. It's
Cool.
I can tell that it's not on time, so I would probably need to quantize and get in there and do stuff to it, but at least the velocities
But I
are
mean,
more natural.
I guess if you quantize it, you'll get to what you wrote. So what's the point of that?
Well, I don't need to quantize to 100%, and I also have the velocities.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I mean, what I do is I write the notes first, then I come back and do a velocity pass, because worrying about all this stuff at the same time is kind of difficult. But yeah, I mean, if you can play, it's always preferable to writing, because you're doing velocity and duration and humanization and notes and all of that at the same time. So yeah, definitely preferable.
So I guess the next step is for me to learn this part. And I would learn how to play that.
Yeah. And now you have your scale, so it should be easier, right?
So this is not C minor. Hanging there.
I was just going by the first three notes. I don't know what else happens in the rest of the
actually,
song.
I may be wrong. I always, when I'm looking at a keyboard, I always have to think of in terms of the fretboard on the guitar to actually figure things out. But I do have a G sharp here, and that is. Yes, that is in C minor, so...
Yeah. If we're nitpicky, there's an A flat in C minor, but let's not be nitpicky.
And see, and this is what I have to do like for hours to get the idea out. But I guess there is no other shortcut, right? I tried all the shortcuts. They didn't work very well.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing you can do, like if you think audio to MIDI is something you want to try, I guess just use a reference pitch, and try to kind of think of what's the simplest way that you can get the notes out. You're just getting the notes. You don't care about velocity. You don't care about like humanistic expression of notes kind of sliding in and out to each other. Just singing it in the most simplistic way would give you better results, and using a reference pitch. But yeah, another thing you can do is just write it out, and then once you write it out, you can learn to play it from there. But yeah, other than like writing and transcribing and auto transcribing, and playing, right? Those are the ways.
There is no magic. Oh,
Yeah.
So sorry about the people at Cochlea. Cochlea? No, that's a part of an eye, isn't it?
Vochlea.
Vochlea. I
Yeah.
don't believe in their dream. I don't think there is actually a shortcut. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, if they give it to me for free to try, I'll do that.
Well, I
Maybe
guess
if
now
my
there is a
channel gets
VST
big.
that you can try. Maybe I'll give that a try someday.
Yeah.
And the other things that people suggested on the chat. Right, so I'm not going to bore you all with learning and replaying all these parts. I think we can jump to the composition. So far, what... Yes, I guess that's even a bigger issue, right? Because if there is something about the composition so far that doesn't work well, I should fix that before I even learn to play it and whatnot. So far, in terms of composition, any advice?
Let me hear it one more time.
Da 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 da. Da na na na. Da 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 na na da na da na na da na 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 da 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 na na da na da 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 da. Now I will admit that some of these notes I don't even get right, but I guess it gives you a sense of the flow of the composition and the idea, but I am not able to like whistle some of the notes in there. You can barely see it here.
Yeah. No, I have no like. I mean, there's nothing obviously that I can be like that's wrong. I feel like that last flute phrase doesn't resolve in a super interesting way. That could be something you could revisit because it goes and then it just kind of like. So that could be something to kind of look into. No, further on.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to hear one more time?
Yes. Let's do that.
Yeah, that na-ra-ra, that kind of feels like, well, it's kind of like at the beginning you're doing that climb down. It's very exciting. And then like the resolution is not as exciting. So the resolution could go kind of contrary in motion to what you're building up to. So like something crazy and epic before we jump to the B. And obviously bring the B in. And then when you have two ideas, like you really... The way I always think about it, you need both ideas present so you can transition between them. But before bringing the idea in, how will you know how to transition to it, right?
Yeah, we kind of already have the idea. It is the other project.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna...
So maybe we can bring that in.
I'm not sure how they are going to blend, but yes, let's do that. I can open a new project tab and go...
I think you wrote that in F minor, which... Yeah, that's cool too. We can always modulate to F minor.
It was in A minor. Okay. And yeah, we are in C. So C minor. Going to A minor is not the end of the world.
It's pretty jazzy, yeah. Oh. Pavel says that he has Vochlea doubler. Do you want to test some hypothesis? Oh, yeah. That sounds fun. What do you propose?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what Vochlea doubler is, but it's something that I can feed some audio into?
I think so.
Yeah, let me catch up with what you all were saying. Because I have both my MIDI keyboard as well as my MIDI pedal board connected. I don't have my second screen connected, so I wasn't following the chat at all. Okay. Oh, I hear the first note on the first beat, not on the off beat. Yeah, and the melody is in 3/4 and it goes to 4/4 in the more epic part. Well, but I don't think I need to set the MIDI to triplet. I wasn't thinking of triplets when I was thinking of this.
Yeah, yeah. If you're not thinking triplets, don't do triplets because it's a totally different feel with the metronome and all that. You got to change so many things. So unless you're explicitly thinking triplets, don't do triplets.
Okay. Yeah, I'll avoid triplets. So I guess I can copy this MIDI and paste it here. And it's not really going to make any sense with the cello that I was singing. But let me drop the BBC and move to flute. And I think it has
By the
potential
way,
of working.
something I do want to try is it's probably not going to be incredible, but trying reatune with your whistling, because your whistling is a much more clear pitch.
Yeah.
So maybe trying it could be something.
Yeah, let's try the easiest part probably. I do hear...
Yeah, like that's pretty dead on.
Usually, I hear an echo coming back from you because of your headphone bleed. But with this whistle, it sounds like a reverb, so it is kind of nice.
Ah.
So what I gotta do is... I'm gonna create a new track based on this one. I am going to put the BBC stuff here. Whoops. Just like that. And then do this and do that so that you don't hear me doubled. Oh, we said that it's probably a smart idea to leave this at MIDI, so
Yeah.
then route from here to there with just MIDI, then go there and drop some retune, make the window a little bit bigger, put some overlap, and then enable this. Okay, yeah, everything seems right. What did we get?
Oh, it's getting the wrong register.
This is not even a note, right? So what I have to do...
Yeah.
So I have to dive in there, select all notes, and transpose them down for an octave.
Wow. I mean, it's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's
Da 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 da. Yeah. It's not. It is better.
It's like a development on your motif more than actually detecting it.
Yeah. Thanks, machine, for helping me out.
Yeah. It's like, hey, try this.
Yeah. No. Nope. Not quite.
Yeah, nope.
Right. So let me check the time. Yeah, we have been here for 1 hour. Do you want to wrap this up?
I can keep going. Let's see the new theme. Maybe talk about some modulation. Let's do some stuff.
Okay. So
this is the overall lesson, though, that I always have felt with all of these types of things that are supposed to make your life simpler and automate stuff, and then you use them, and it's like, honestly, it was easier if I just did the thing rather than try to play with it. Like, oh, this plugin will find out all your kick hits and snare hits and separate them, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It's gonna fuck up. It's gonna be like really specific. If you play kick and snare together, it's gonna get confused. It's like just do the thing that you gotta do. If you need to separate your kick and snare,
Yeah, and
separate your kick and
I
snare.
do understand the motivation because it can be annoying to do all this work that I am going to do probably off stream of learning how to play all this and really playing all of it and then quantizing and whatnot, or drawing it in and humanizing or whatever I have to do. It can be a boring to do that and kind of annoying, but I guess it is part of the work, right? When I'm writing code, sometimes I'm being creative and I'm coming up with solutions. Sometimes I'm renaming a bunch of variables. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and it's ultimately like just transcribing this, like hearing it and playing it. You're gonna become better at playing. You're gonna become better at hearing.
Yeah.
So it's like, like if you like back in the day when people used to by hand declick stuff. I mean, that's crazy amounts of work. But dialogue editors would have like they would make a lot more money because now they're expected to do the thing in a much shorter time. But also, I guess, I don't know, maybe after a while, if we completely automate declicking, then new dialogue editors would be worse at hearing clicks because you would get so attuned to like hearing a click, you would hear the slightest click, and over time you kind of lose that. Like now that I automate my declicking, I miss more clicks than I used to when I was hand drawing them.
So when you say clicks, do you mean just between edits? I'm no dialogue
like in
editor myself.
dialogue, like clicks happen. Just even without fades, you get tons of clicks, just like mouth stuff, but also just on set and stuff, you hear tons of clicks.
And the way you fix those is using something like Isotope RX?
Yeah, nowadays everybody uses that. I know Bertram, I think, is now kind of entering that market, but really to dethrone Isotope is going to be pretty hard. They're so standard nowadays that they're like other brands aren't even in the conversation when it comes to declicking and stuff, unless something comes that like really revolutionizes that or just does the same thing but costs like $5. I think Isotope has that market cornered.
I see. And people used to do it by hand by hearing the clicks and going in and putting some kind of fade or EQ or
You literally like in Pro Tools you can draw the waveform, so you would see a tick, 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 and then you would just go and draw a flat line over it. I mean, with RX you still have to hear the click because you don't want to just feed it your entire audio and have it can find all the clicks and declick them, but it also introduced tons of artifacts to places where you didn't need to run it through a declick. Yeah, so I guess the moral is like things that make stuff easier makes you not improve as much.
I see.
Versus having to like manually do shit makes you better.
Okay, I guess I should not be recording in Reaper, but in a one-track tape recorder, I would get better.
Yeah.
I thought that in Reaper I was able to come in and draw here, but I don't think I can.
You could. It's called pre-effects volume envelope. But the thing is, in Pro Tools, you drew over the waveform. In Reaper, you get an envelope line. You draw on the envelope line, then you see how that reflects on the waveform, which is not the same workflow. So you gotta like, when you want to get rid of a click, you can't draw a line because a line means no change. You gotta actually match that in up and down movement until it's the same, until it becomes flat. So if it goes up, you go down. If it goes down, you go up, which I find quite difficult. That's like a whole other thingamajig, right?
Yes. Let me see. I opened another software. Let's see if my audio is still all right. It should be, but just double checking. Yeah. All right. Everything seems okay. Yeah, I think. Can you hear me now? Okay. You can hear me. I cannot hear you. I wonder why that would be. So what happened is super interesting. I opened Audacity because I was thinking that Audacity would be able to draw the waveform like we were talking about. And then my whole computer just crashed. The whole computer restarted. Isn't that something? That's something you don't see every day. I think I haven't seen that in like years now. So I guess the lesson is don't open Audacity. And I am not able to hear you. Can you say something? Oh yeah, that is interesting. It's not, it is coming here. You can see that level moving. And I am in monitor only, mute output, which is the correct thing for me to do. Over here in audio, should be going to guest output, which it is. Then in Reaper, it should be coming here. Can you say something? Yeah, it's not getting there. So maybe Black Hole is not behaving. Isn't that annoying? Can we try like Skype? I just want to be able to say goodbye and wrap this up because Audacity ruined the stream. And there is this whole drama. Have you heard of this drama? I got stabbed because of Audacity. Did you hear that? Okay, I can tell this story while I'm trying to load Skype here so I can hear you. Though the stream can hear you, which is kind of weird. I think that this stream can. No, this stream cannot. Right, let me try to call you here.
Hello.
Hello, now I can hear you and the stream can hear you. So yeah, weird stuff. Yeah, so a guy got stabbed. So Audacity introduced this feature that I think it was like to check for updates or to send usage reports, completely opt-outable. You could opt out of the thing. And they introduced this feature, but it was a whole drama and people started forking the project. And then the 4chan got in and they wanted a particular name and someone wanted another name. Eventually someone found someone's address. They went there, they stabbed the person. It was a whole drama. And now,
Well,
do you still have me?
I lost you for a second, but I have you back now.
Yeah, and now Audacity is still going strong, but there is this whole drama around it. And when I open it, it crashes my whole computer. So I guess the lesson is if you need to do some dialogue editing and remove some clicks, go use something else because Audacity is dangerous. Yeah, let's wrap this up. This was a fabulous way of just blowing everything up at the end of the stream. Yeah, and okay, so we could play with Voclia some more, but I think that I am in your camp. I prefer to just play the thing and get better in the keyboard as part of the process. And yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much, Arya, for being here with me and for teaching me all this fun stuff. And tomorrow I'll be back to my, well, do you want to do a stream of coding on your channel this week?
I can't do tomorrow. I guess I can't do tomorrow or Friday, so I don't know if you want to do weekends.
No.
Okay, so I guess, yeah.
Monday?
Just let's go regular. Yeah, Monday.
All right. And tomorrow I'll be back to my JSFX library. And as part of my homework, I will flesh out all this Midi stuff the only true way, which is playing it, maybe drawing it in. But I'll do it the just manual, boring way. It was fun to explore these other ideas, though. And yeah, I think that's it for now. Thank you very much, Arya.
Cool. Yeah. See you Monday.
See you. Bye.